All right, we want to rationalize the denominator of this expression, which means we want to get the radicals out of the denominator. Now, there's not two terms. There's only one term in the denominator, so we can do this by multiplying by the radical that you see in the denominator over itself. So I'm going to multiply by the square root of 7x squared y over the square root of 7x squared y. Now in the denominator we have the same radical times itself. So the radicals cancel and we just have 7x squared y. Now in the numerator we have these two radicals being multiplied and we could combine them into one radical, or we can just simplify. Either way, it doesn't matter the order we do these in. So I'm going to look at this radical first and simplify, because the square root of 49 is 7. So I'm going to split that first radical, let's highlight it there, into the square root of 49, or 7, times the square root of xy. Okay, so the yellow corresponds to the yellow there. And then the next radical has a square root of 7 and a y. I'm going to split the square root of 7 and y separately from the square root of x squared, because the square root of x squared is simply x. So all of those pieces correspond to that part. Okay, now we have rationalized, we just need to simplify a little bit. So looking for things that we can combine or cancel here, I see we have 7 divided by 7. And I see we have an x divided by x squared, so one of those x's cancels. And that's all that cancels. Now in the numerator we have square root of xy times square root of 7y. So we could combine those into a single radical and multiply their insides, the radicands, to get xy times 7y. I'm going to write it as 7xy squared. And that's all over x times y. And actually, let's keep going, because in the numerator we have the square root of y squared, which simplifies to y. So we have square root of 7x times the square root of y squared becomes y, all divided by xy. And now we have y's that cancel. So a fully simplified, rationalized expression here would be the square root of 7x, all divided by x. Now you could technically combine those x's a little bit, but since we want it to be rationalized, I'm going to leave it just like that.